So in our last session together, I was in the snow. I was covered 4 inches deep in snow and ice. And today we have sunshine and the snow is almost melted. So in this video today, I wanted to come outside and just kind of share my story of what just took place in my life. That's one of the reasons you have not seen me in the last week. It's because I just had a loss in my family. And you know what? I'm just going to keep talking today. I'm not going to even stop the video. However, grief is something serious, right? Um, Grief hits, and then you are left with picking up the pieces to see how to move on with life. So just this last Thursday, um, my children's father was really, really sick. And we received a phone call that said he was gone. I mean, he was gone. There was no warning. There was no nothing. So I had to put myself together so that I can be strong for my children. It was so devastating because it just happened all of a sudden. And so now we sit and now we try to see how to deal with life and just continue to go through. So I kind of was thinking about that because a lot of times grief go through different stages, right? As you go through the grieving process, you go through so many stages and you just feel lost. You just feel lost. Uh, it was a great sadness that fell over my family, over my children, and the loss of their father. And it was really hard. It was really hard these last few days. And now we have to pick up the pieces and try to move on with life. So I wanted to kind of talk about what do you do in a situation like this? What do you do? How do you move on? I'm sure it's a lot of you on here have experienced the loss of a loved one. It hits different, especially when you all of a sudden receive a phone call that would change your life forever. Whew, y'all. I know the first thing I was encouraging my children to do was to take a minute and breathe. Inhale and exhale. I had to encourage my children as well to just know that their father is not hurting anymore. He's not suffering. He's actually in a better place. A lot of people was coming up to us and they was, um, you know, trying to console. A lot of people, when you lose loved ones, a lot of people, they try to come and console you. And sometimes they don't even have the words to say, right? Like, what are the right words, right? What are the right words to say when somebody loses somebody dear to them, someone that they love dearly, right? You be at a loss for words. And you know what? People mean well. People mean well. But you know what I learned? Sometimes silence is the best thing going. Sometimes when you can just walk up to somebody and just give them a hug, sometimes that's the best thing that you can give anybody. Because a lot of times our words, they may mean well, but our words, it's just those same cliche words that sometimes may not be the right thing to say. May not be the right thing to say. So how do I pick up the pieces? How do I encourage my children to pick up the pieces and remember the Father and continue to move through life, right? Like, how do I do that? Because I'm trying to be strong for them. But guess what? I also found out that even the strong get weak. Sometimes I don't even have the words to say. And you know what I had to do? Just what I just said to do. I just had to give them a hug and just hold them because I don't know what else to say other than I love them and that I know for sure that their father loved them dearly. And he always was happy for them and wanted them to be successful. Those things I knew without a shadow of a doubt. So when I spoke those words to them, I meant those words because I know that their father loved them. I know he did. I know he did. So while this video may not be like my normal videos, but I just kind of wanted to just kind of talk about it because a lot of people have lost a lot of loved ones over the course of the holidays, and some may be just recent since the new year started. And I want to come on here to encourage you to know that you will be able to get through it. Just take a moment, breathe, and if you need to cry, please cry. Do not hold your tears. A lot of times we do try to be strong, but you know what? If you need to cry, 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 scream, yell, release those emotions. Release those emotions so healing can come in through your grieving process. And you know, grieving comes in different stages, and nobody can tell you, oh, you grieve too long. Oh, you need to hurry up and grieve, right? Nobody can rush your grieving process. And if they do, they need to be dismissed because your grieving process is your grieving process. Nobody can tell you how to grieve. No one. So you take your time and you grieve. If you have to get counseling to try to get through this process, please seek counseling because y'all, I'm telling you, that thing is hard. When you go through this grieving process, it's hard. I remember when I lost my best friend, August 4th, 2017. I'll never forget it. I lost my best friend. She was my best friend, y'all. She showed up for me. She supported me. She was there when I was in need, but she was also there to celebrate me. And then all of a sudden, she died. And I got that phone call to come to the hospital. And just seeing her laying there, y'all, I could no longer hold it in no more. It broke my heart. It crushed me. So I'm encouraging everyone who may have lost somebody dearly to you, that's dear to you and your family. Take the time to grieve properly. Don't let anybody rush you through the grieving process. You take your time, and take one day at a time. That's all we can do. Take one day at a time. Remember the good memories of them. I mean, y'all, I started to remember my friend and the crazy stuff she used to say. I remember getting off work and she would be the first person I called. Cause first of all, she used to be my supervisor. And then when I got a promotion, then she was no longer my supervisor. So then I was able to talk to her about everything. And so every time I got off work, I would call her with the most craziest stuff that people did at work. And we laughed and we laughed and we laughed. And when she was gone and no longer there, that void hit because I no longer had anybody to call when I got off work. But when I was driving home from work, y'all, I just had this memory of calling her and sharing the most craziest thing with her. And it made me smile, cry, all at the same time. So remember and cherish the memories that you have of your loved ones that you lost. Just cherish the moment. Cherish the moment and know that they are cheering you on. So I just wanted to hop on here today because the sun was shining and it was beautiful outside. And I was feeling a certain kind of way just due to the loss of my children's father. And I just wanted to just kind of share just a little bit about grief and about losing people that are dear to you. Because I know that there's a lot of people that has lost a lot of loved ones. So I encourage you to stay prayerful and to know that weeping may endure for a night, but joy is going to come in the morning. So, y'all stay encouraged. I'm praying for you and your family, and I will see y'all next time. Y'all be blessed, and please stay encouraged. All right. See you next time. Bye.